Alright everyone, I wanted to give you guys all the information and the full breakdown of what is going to be better to farm, half stamina book farming or the Awaken Lilia boss battles event. And I really wanted to give you guys all the information, but let's start off here with the question that I'm sure a lot of you guys are asking, and that is, what is going to be better when it comes to the amount of gold that you get for every stamina potion that you use? And the winner of that is definitely going to end up being book farming. But it's a bit closer than you'd think. It's only about 10% better, but book farming will give you more gold per stamina potion, and you're looking at an average of about 300,000 gold per stamina potion. Very importantly though, this is only with the half stamina event. Without the half stamina event, it's actually even less than 150,000 because the half stamina event is also going to end up doubling the amount of raw gold that you end up getting per run as well. But gold per stamina potion isn't the only important thing. There's a lot of other things that you want to consider, and that might end up making Awaken Lilia the better option for you. So the next thing is the actual difficulty. And this is really important because I think there's definitely a lot of newer players or people who have not been playing the game since day one who are watching my videos. And it's important to say that book farming has a much lower barrier of entry. The enemy CC for book farming, you're looking at 68,000. So you're going to be able to get into farming this a lot earlier on. And that's really important for the newer players because that's going to allow you to accumulate all that gold, which is really going to help boost and progress your account quite a bit. Now, the other important thing is skip tickets, and especially with this last update, the half anniversary, we're really getting a lot more of these skip tickets, and it's important to note that you get a lot different outcomes out of using a skip ticket on books versus using a skip ticket on Awaken Lilia. And the first thing that I want to mention is the actual affinity / affection. I always mix those two up, so I'll just say both of them. I always end up using a specific team for skip tickets, a team that does not have much affection, and also units that I don't use normally, but the raw affinity / affection you get is going to be equal to 1 for each stamina that the encounter costs. And that's going to go to every single one of your units. So that means that book farming is going to end up giving all your units 14 affinity / affection per ticket. But even though the half stamina event lowers the actual stamina cost down to 7, it's still going to end up giving you the 14 affinity / affection. But something to keep in mind is that generally speaking, book farming, also because it's easier, as you get further along into the game, you're going to be able to farm it a lot quicker. Each run is not going to take as long, and you're going to be doing more runs per hour. At the point that I'm at, I'm doing roughly like 53 to 55 book runs per hour, whereas Awaken Lilia, I'm only doing around 40 per hour. So the amount of time that you save is actually going to be greater with Awaken Lilia compared to book farming. So there's pros and cons to using tickets for either option, is what I'm really trying to say here. It kind of depends on what your priorities are, but it's important to be aware of nonetheless. Now, another important thing is book farming is really only going to end up giving you gold and books, and generally speaking, you're not going to need as many books in the game compared to a lot of the items that you end up getting from Awaken Lilia. Like the amount of these that you need for working on your units, you sure will still need them, but book farming is just going to end up flooding your inventory with these, that basically all of them, you're just going to end up vendoring for the gold. So gold is quite simply the primary resource for book farming. Awaken Lilia is a bit different, and I'll get to that in a second. Now, another important thing is, this is something that I would not want to do if I were to go back to book farming, is I don't want to use gold food because book farming only ends up giving you 2,400 base gold, and I'll use a skip ticket here just to show you guys, but if we go through, you'll see that's the base gold. Now, the half stamina event is going to double it to 4,800, but using a gold food on top of it isn't going to double it again. It's just going to give you another 2,400, so you'll get like roughly 7,000 gold per run. So gold food is going to be less effective with book farming compared to Awaken Lilia. Now, another thing is, I would definitely say that the half stamina book farming is more free-to-play friendly overall, and I'll kind of explain my reasoning behind this. Half stamina events only roll around every other week, and book farming specifically is 2 days. So that means out of a 14-day schedule, only 2 of those 14 days are going to have the half stamina. So that's when you're really going to want to farm this. But that also means that you're going to actually have a good amount of time in order to save up stamina potions for when the book farming event rolls around. Now, another thing too is because book farming is 14 base stamina, which means 7 stamina with the half stamina event. You're not going to burn through nearly as many stamina potions by, AFKing or overnighting this. And I'll tell you guys, from farming basically every book weekend since the game came out, overnight I'll end up using, between 20 to 30 stamina potions book farming. Much, much higher number when it comes to Awakened Lilia. So now let's talk about Awakened Lilia, because that's going to come in at second place specifically for the amount of gold per stamina potion. And you're looking at about 270,000 gold per stamina potion. So it's not really a whole lot less. And very importantly as well is that I'm not factoring in vendoring the Awakening Stones, because I think most people are not going to be selling Awakening Stones to the vendor. So if you do, though, you might actually be able to get close to the point of book farming, maybe still a little bit less, but either way, that brings me into another really big point about Awakened Lilia, and that is you get a lot of other important items besides just gold and books, and you can actually end up getting books from Awakened Lilia as well. So obviously you can end up getting chalices. Now late game players, I know myself, I do not need any more chalices. I have so many of these that basically they're all going to be vendored, which actually adds to the gold by a decent amount. You are going to end up getting Awakening Stones, including those 5-star ones. Obviously you're going to get those treasure chests, the SSRs, which are going to be quite a bit of gold. That really is what makes this run so good. But you end up getting experience potions, and also you end up getting the books as well. So if you do still need books, you can either end up selling them or you can end up using them. And overall, you just end up getting a lot of other useful items for your account besides just gold. But even if you don't need those items, you can end up vendoring most of them, and they give you a decent chunk of gold as well. So it's a lot more versatile in terms of the amount of stuff that you actually get out of it. Now, something I will say about Awakened Lilia is it is much more potential for gold per hour. And I will say, though, that it is much less free-to-play or low-spender friendly, because in order to end up getting those really high gold per hour numbers, and I know I have my video from a few days ago where I say 2.5 million gold per hour, that's really only going to be realistic to people who've been playing the game for a while, who have a pretty solid team. If you are still newer, you're probably not going to be seeing numbers anywhere even close to that, and that's why book farming is probably going to be better for you. But if you do have a solid team that can clear this in 2, 3, or even 4 runs is still going to be really good, you're definitely looking at well over 1.5 million gold per hour. Now, that leads to a very big downside, though, and that is the extremely high stamina cost and the amount of stamina potions that you're going to end up using. Now, remember, book farming is 14 stamina, but you're only going to be farming it with a half stamina event, so that means it costs 7 stamina per run. We don't have half stamina for this, so it's 20 stamina per run. That's almost 3 times as much, and you are going to be absolutely blasting through those stamina potions. And I'll tell you guys, overnighting the Awakened Lilia event is going to cost me usually anywhere between 70 to 100 stamina potions. That's a full stack right there. You're going to burn through them super fast. And another reason why I say that Awakened Lilia is not as free-to-play friendly is because it is a time-sensitive event. We don't have, that long period of time to prepare for it and save stamina potions. It's going on right now for the next 12 days. You can run it as much as you want, but once it goes away, it might be a little while before we get it again. And especially with how fast you go through and farm it, you're going to burn through a ton of stamina potions, and free-to-play players who don't really have that many or low spenders, it's just going to be really difficult in order to get a whole lot out of this event. So that's another thing about it as well. And when it comes to the skip tickets, the last thing that I want to end things off on here is skip tickets when it comes to the Awakened Lilia event. They're going to end up giving each of your units 20 affinity/affection. Because it is more difficult as well, and it takes more time, the skip tickets that you use here end up saving you more time as well. So if time is kind of like your most valuable thing, you do end up getting more efficiency by using them here with the Awakened Lilia event compared to the book farming event. So skip tickets, they really kind of are there's some pros and cons for Awakened Lilia, and there's some pros and cons for book farming. But overall, I'll tell you guys, as an end game player, I prefer to use my skip tickets for the Awakened Lilia events. So even as a newer player, if you could end up completing this Once that gives you the opportunity to start using the skip tickets. You only ever have to clear it once, and then whatever team that you set up, you're going to be able to use them on in the future and get all the rewards out of it. So there's a lot of really useful stuff to your account. That's actually the real last thing that I want to end off this video on, is even if you don't end up selling these type of items for gold itself, the amount of gold per hour or gold per stamina potion that you get is not as high as book farming. There's still a lot of other really useful stuff from your account that you end up getting out of this, whereas book farming, you know, there's only really so many books that you can use, so it mostly is just about the gold. So I wanted to do a full breakdown of this, though, because I know this is kind of the hot topic of discussion right now, is people deciding where to use their stamina potions, book farming or Awaken Lilia. So hopefully this information helps you guys out and allows you to make a decision like that a bit easier. So with that being said, though, that's going to be about it for today. Once again, thank you for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed and you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. Feel free to toss a quick like as well. It really does help out more than you can imagine, so thank you so much to all of you who decide to do that. And more 7 Deadly Sins, Grand Cross Global videos, guides, tutorials, and all that fun stuff, including pull videos, should be popping up on the screen right about now or in the suggested videos to your right or below. Feel free to check them out. I believe we're at around 150 videos on the channel and also getting very close to 10,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much. We have been absolutely on fire lately, and I really hope that you enjoy the videos. And if you guys have any comments, suggestions, or anything that you want to leave a remark on, I do my absolute best to read all the comments, even if I can't reply to each one personally myself. I still try to read them at the least, so let me know. But with that being said, have a fantastic day, everyone. Take care. This is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.